Good morning and welcome back to Port St. Mary. So I got up this morning, took the bus down to the very kind of southern part of the island, and I am going to attempt to walk along the southern point from Port St. Mary to Port Erin. So both two little towns that I've been to a few days ago, but I can actually try to do the walk. I am wearing my hiking shoes for the first time in about a week or so, and fingers crossed they're gonna see me through the day. But I also bought a pair of Birkenstocks just in case they do not and I need to change and hike in my Birks. I can do that, it's just not ideal. So yeah, keep your fingers crossed for me. I'll keep you updated. Okay, let's go walk one of the sections. So this is a World War II memorial right outside of Port St. Mary. There were, a lot of people who came from the Isle of Man who fought in World War II for the British. But the ferry company here, Steam Packet, which is the ferry I came over on, also had a lot of ships that they kind of donated to the cause, specifically at Dunkirk. And a couple of them on those missions to rescue soldiers that were stuck on the French beach never came back. So this is their memorial to that, to those people who died in the war and the sacrifices that the Isle of Man made. Well, I've already hit my first little snafu and I'm only 0.7 miles in. So my map said to go one way and the signs, the physical signs say to go that same way. But to go that way, there's a giant private road, do not enter sign. So did somebody just throw up that sign because they were sick of walkers coming through? Or is it actually a private road and the signs were misplaced? Or whatever, I don't know. So I'm creating my own detour because I'm a rule follower in that way. But hopefully this is the standalone snag. Chickens. So I found the other side. That's the path that I didn't go down. This is the sign. So am I supposed to go through that or not? Unknown. I don't know. I'm on the other side anyway, so it doesn't matter, but still. Be clear, please. Maybe written in Sharpie. That's actually really helpful. Good job, random people. Haven't seen this type of entry point into somebody else's field yet on this trip. The up and over ladder. Hey, sheepy sheeps. Ooh. Hello. They don't seem to be very scared of me. They're probably used to people walking through their pasture. I guess I'll be safe. So this is called the chasm. It's not that bad. Like, as long as you stay back from the edge and are like a responsible adult, you should be fine. I don't know that I'd bring small children or pets out here, but you know. Taking a little shade break in the shade by this old building for the Chasm Cafe. Sort of wish it was still a cafe because I would love something cold to drink right now. It is quite warm. But hopefully once I get around this little peninsula bit, it'll get a little breezier because that would just be glorious. Oh, this is very official with the metal handrail and everything. You can kind of see the outline of another landscape over there. I don't know if that's Ireland or something closer. So it's a good thing I'm not afraid of heights, because yep. And there's the chasm from this side. So I was up on top of that cliff over there. They are really kind of cool from this direction. Not super exciting from on top though. So I think my path is going that direction. You'll probably hear if the wind's picked up a little, which means I'm a lot less warm, which is just a-okay for me. If it were cooler, I'd think I was somewhere up in the moorlands. Look at all these little flowers. So I came from that little harbor on the other side there and walked all along the top. That little building is where I stopped in. That was the Chasms Cafe place. Walked all over here. Just coming around the bend, I think that's the southern point. So according to my watch, I'm at about the halfway point. See if that's actually true or not. It's just noon, eating an apple. My plan is to go just a little bit further, and then I will be at this, like the very southern tip that I just showed you. And there's a little cafe there. I brought food, but I would love like a cold drink, maybe some sort of baked good, something a little bit more than PB&J and chips, you know? So let's go to there. Check it out, Sea Cave. Wonder how that far back it goes. So I think that's the Calf of Man. I thought it was closer than in the mist, so I'm not quite sure. I still think the mountains behind it are probably Ireland. And then the one that I see this direction, I don't know if that's like still Ireland or if maybe that's England. Questions. But very cool. And I think I see little people down there, which means that's probably around where the cafe is. Now check out the current in between it. It kind of reminds me of Deception Pass in Washington. When you stand on the bridge and look down at the water swirling, probably the same effect going through all those rocks. I decided having lunch with that as my view and not amongst the tourist people that I presently see closer to the cafe and stuff was a better choice. So I'm gonna eat here and then I'll keep continuing on. Maybe I'll stop at the cafe anyway, but that's the plan. Another mountain goat experience I didn't think I needed. But you know, that's how steep it is. No Coke. Well, here it is. The most expensive can of Pepsi I will probably ever purchase. It's like $2.25. But they're the only business for miles, so they get to have a monopoly on everything. And they didn't have Coke products, so here we are. Can't even remember the last time I had a Pepsi. That's better. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, I'm saying bye to this lovely little place. And I'm heading on my way. According to my apps and things, I have about 2 more miles to go. It's kind of straight uphill until the very last moment and then just drops down, so that's gonna be an adventure. But I'll take you along. So the sound on this is really bad because of the wind, but basically what I'm saying is that this is one of those moments that feels like something is so close and yet so far. So I'm zooming into that little tower over there, which is the far side of the bay at Port Erin, and at this point I know that I have to walk probably about 2 more miles, and it looks like it's within grasp, and yet I know that it is so far away. I have a couple of big hills still to go over. I'm not really looking forward to those. Okay, I was a little confused as to why this was a moderate hike, not an easy one. Found out why it's moderate. Welcome to the rock field. And so, okay, the super treacherous part only lasted for like 3 feet. Then we're okay. That's more like it. First glimpse of Port Erin. This sign, like so many, doing very well. Not at all a problem. Good thing the path is very defined. So there's Port Erin, and if you look up and over, there's Port St. Mary. Isn't that funny? It's like, I think it's like away from Port St. Mary, which according to this, it lies, is 469 feet. What? Maybe that's if I go from this direction to that direction. My watch says 1,500 feet. And it says 7 miles, which is about what I've clocked. So apparently I went the uphill way, or that sounds very wrong. Either way, it was a good walk. This thing says it's a moderate hike, which in the States I would definitely call this a moderate hike only because of the like ups, downs, and the mileage. But in the UK, usually moderate is like easy. So the fact that this is a moderate hike in the UK, I'm kind of like, okay, maybe Isle of Man stepping it up a little bit more. But I've definitely been on some hard hikes in like England, for example, and they're like 4 miles with 500 feet of elevation gain, which I would not call that hard. So I don't know. The scale's a little wonky apparently, but also a different place, so maybe different scale. All I know is I made it, so I think I'm gonna go change into my beach stuff and at least go put my feet in the water, slash maybe my legs. We'll see if the whole body gets in or not. Yeah, no kidding. Look how giant that jellyfish is. Oh my goodness. This thing is huge. Here's my shoe for reference. Well, I'm almost up to my knees. There's waves coming, which means it's splashing me quite higher. It's very cold. We're gonna see if I can get any more into this. I also know that there's giant jellyfish in here, so you know I don't want to go out too deep because then I can't see the jellyfish as well. Well, I think this is finishing up my adventure for the day. Got my ice cream. It's Smartie flavor, which is kind of like Smarties are candy here. They're like kind of like M&M's, just with a slightly thicker shell, and they're a little bigger too. The problem I'm having with the ice cream here is that it all tastes like mildly artificial. And by here I mean on the Isle of Man. I had some really good ice cream in other places. So I don't know if they just like tend to use artificial sweeteners or if there's like something else going on. But like, it's fine, right? It's like not great, but it's not bad either. It just feels a little, I don't know, off. So, I mean, my last full day here. This is my last ice cream. Trying to figure out if I'm gonna stop and get like grocery store dinner, or if I'm stopping at fish and chips. I don't really want fish and chips. That sounds really greasy right now. It's been very warm today. So we'll see what else I come across. But if nothing exciting happens, this is our adventure for today. Thanks for watching.